The room was quiet, but my heart had never been louder. My name is Jessica, and that night didn't begin with intention. It began with silence. The kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but heavy, like it knows something is about to happen and is waiting to see if you're brave enough to let it. Outside, the city kept moving. Cars passed. Lights flickered. Somewhere, people laughed and argued and lived ordinary lives. But inside that room, time had softened, slowed, as if the world had stepped back to give us space and then politely looked away. Ethan stood near the window, the glow from the city brushing his face just enough to make him look unreal, familiar, yet dangerous in the quietest way. Not dangerous because of recklessness, but because of restraint, because of everything he wasn't doing. We didn't rush toward each other. That was what made it intense. Every step closer felt deliberate, every breath felt noticed. I could feel my own heartbeat echoing inside my chest, loud enough that I wondered if he could hear it too. "You're quiet," he said softly. "So are you," I replied. "But my mind isn't." "Mine either." We Saturday close enough to feel warmth, not close enough to touch. That space between us felt alive, charged, like it was holding its breath. I could feel his presence without looking at him, the steadiness of him, the patience, the way he seemed fully there, not distracted, not rushing ahead to the next moment. That restraint made my pulse quicken. Desire doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, and that whisper can be impossible to ignore. When he finally turned toward me, his eyes searched my face and my body. Not hunger first, understanding first, and that alone made everything feel deeper, more dangerous, more intimate. "Tell me to stop," he said quietly. I didn't. Instead, I let my fingers move first, slowly, uncertainly, just brushing against his hand, light, questioning, an invitation that could still be taken back. He inhaled sharply. That sound did something to me. He didn't pull me closer. He didn't rush to claim the moment. He let it breathe, as if the tension itself mattered, as if savoring the closeness without crossing the line was just as important as crossing it. And when he finally did move, it was gentle. A hand at my waist, not tight, not demanding, just there, present, a thumb tracing warmth through fabric, sending a quiet awareness through my body that made my thoughts blur. Our foreheads touched, still no kiss, just shared breath, the kind that feels intimate enough to undo you. "This feels dangerous," I whispered. He smiled softly, "because it matters." That was it. The kiss didn't crash into me. It didn't steal my breath or overwhelm me. It unfolded, slowly, deeply, unhurried. The kind of kiss that explores instead of takes, that lingers instead of rushes, that invites instead of demands. My hands found his shoulders, his grip tightened just slightly enough to say I'm here, enough to say I won't disappear after this. The world narrowed to sensation, warmth, breath, the soft sound of two hearts losing rhythm together. There was nothing careless about it, nothing rushed, just two people allowing desire to exist without guilt, without fear, without pretending it was something else. That's what made it sexy. Not skin, not urgency, but intention. When we finally pulled back, our eyes met and I knew something irreversible had happened. The night was still quiet. But the love between us, it was loud. And it wasn't going to fade with the morning. The quiet didn't end when the kiss did. It followed, a soft, deliberate, like a secret we both carried in our chests. Ethan didn't pull away far. He stayed close enough that I could feel his warmth, close enough that the space between us felt intentional, not empty. The room seemed to breathe with us. Every sound softened, every thought sharpened. Neither of us spoke right away. Some moments don't need words, they need respect. He brushed a strand of hair from my face, slow enough that I felt every second of it. His touch wasn't demanding. It wasn't asking for more. It was asking if I was still here. I leaned into him. That was my answer. We Saturday together, bodies angled toward each other, the city lights blinking faintly through the window like distant witnesses. I could feel his heartbeat steady, grounding against something inside me settled. I wasn't nervous anymore. I felt safe. "You feel different," he said quietly. "So do you," I replied. Different didn't mean unfamiliar. It meant closer. He rested his forehead against mine again, and this time the closeness didn't feel like tension. It felt like belonging. His hand stayed at my waist, warm and certain, and my thoughts slowed until there was only presence. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives with confidence, with knowing when to slow down, with choosing not to rush. The kiss that followed was deeper not because it moved faster, but because it moved honestly. It wasn't about heat alone. It was about trust layered over desire, about wanting without taking. I felt it in the way he paused when my breath changed, in the way he listened to my silence, in the way he stayed when he could have pushed further. That restraint made everything louder. When we finally pulled apart, I laughed softly, surprised by myself. "What?" he asked, smiling. "I just realized something," I said. "This doesn't feel like a moment. It feels like the start of something." His expression softened, not dramatic, not intense, just real. "I was hoping you'd say that." We didn't make promises that night. We didn't plan futures or define anything with words. Instead, we shared something quieter and stronger. Presence. We talked about nothing important and everything that mattered, about mornings we loved, about fears we didn't usually admit, about how strange it felt to be so comfortable so quickly. At one point, my head rested against his chest, and his hand traced slow, absent patterns along my arm, not to tease, not to rush, just to be there. That touch stayed with me. Not because it was bold, but because it was chosen. When the night finally grew late, he walked me to the door. There was no rush to end it, no awkward goodbye, just one last look, one last soft smile. "This night," he said, "I don't want it to fade." "It won't," I replied, "not like this." Because some nights don't end when the lights go out. Some nights stay with you, changing the way you feel, changing the way you love, changing the way you choose. And that quiet night, with its loud love, didn't leave us wanting more in desperation. It left us wanting more in confidence, knowing that whatever came next, we'd meet it together.